I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
We are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching My Hero Academia, Season 6, Episode 20. Last episode, we got a rematch from Deku and Muscular. We also got to learn that Deku is working with the top 3 heroes, plus All Might.
And the retired top hero.
Yeah. That was cool. All Might looks like Batman. Shot. It was amazing.
Did you almost expect an explosion behind them as they were all,
walking
together?
In slow-mo, or like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine intro or something. I don't know. I liked last episode a lot though. Shindo helped out in the fight too. We haven't seen him in a bit. That was cool. And I don't really know where we go from here other than trying to clean up the streets as fast as possible. So if and when All For One attacks again, he won't have as many resources or backup.
Right, we got that Deku's kind of keeping his identity secret. There's an anonymity to his actions. He's basically just dropping villains on the doorstep of the police station, but using smoke screens so that people don't know his identity.
I hope we learn... I hope we might... Okay, this is weird. So, N and smokescreen, love it. In our discussion last episode, I had the question of like, okay, is it just smoke? Or is it like that villain... a villain in season 3 when he had the poisonous gas where he could feel people move throughout it. I wonder if Deku has that ability.
Any other element, or it's purely just
the smoke screen.
Smoke.
It's like a visibility, and I want to expand on the other previous users of One for All that have their backs turned that we got a visual of the last few episodes, and hopefully we learn what quirks they have.
I'm excited going forward and possibly learning those, especially if you think about what N said last episode with how Deku should think of all of these quirks as basically tools at his disposal.
And then the last thing I have is that Gran Torino had told Deku that sometimes you have to kill somebody to save them. See how that goes. Yeah, I don't know. You ready? Sweet. Okay, that was My Hero Academia Season 6, Episode 20. Ooh. What were you going to say?
She's not a stationary sniper. Normally when you think of snipers, they have to hole up in one location and have their target accurately mapped out. And we know that she could be super far away, 3 kilometers, and that her bullets could curve. But this addition of basically she can move anywhere around the battlefield. Yeah.
To different building tops. That's ridiculous. She's not fast, but she has the ability to move. That has got to be one of the coolest quirks in this entire series.
I mean, if you think about quirks enhancing each other, if you think about the ones that Deku has, you think of what En said, they're kind of just a bunch of tools that I guess you could use, but this quirk given to her is almost like an enhancement for her own quirk to work better.
Yeah. And
for her to have a more of a success rate.
God, what did they compare it to? Epoxy putty?
Epoxy putty, yeah.
That is, and she can make any type of bullet. She can curve a bullet, a hollow point. What
It's like she has 2 quirks in one. She not only has the rifle basically in her arm, but then her hair can also make bullets. It's 2 different things at once.
So I wonder, details about the quirk, right? Are you limited by the size of the barrel within your arm? I'd assume so, right?
Yeah, it's probably the same size all the time.
Yeah, and I wouldn't think that you'd be able to control your epoxy putty hair and to the point of I can fire it small and then expand it. It's like bullets, right? Or
there are certain types of bullets that can once they're shot can be into smaller pieces.
Yeah. But when she shot Deku, she was communicating with him, right? When she shot the phone out of his hand.
But maybe it was just because she was across.
She was a long way away. But it looked like there was some
type of communication that was happening.
Yeah. There was some device in the shot. You see right here?
Oh, a microphone.
Like a speaker. Yeah.
Or speaker.
I'm taking you with me.
Almost she's using it as a speaker to talk to him.
So I wonder if she grabbed her hair, had
and she just wrapped
and then put it. That's so freaking cool, dude.
If she can add stuff into inside her bullets.
Yeah. Explosives,
You're right.
trackers.
Explosive is an
anything.
awesome thing to not like an actual awesome thing. It's awesome to think of the capabilities of what could be added to the bullets in order for destruction.
One of the best parts about the show are like the originality of quirks, and like it's so interesting. So she was a former commission hero,
Yeah,
public safety commission hero, like Hawks, and she killed an ally hero.
Mm-hmm. But then right after that, a couple dialogue lines later, she uses the phrase false hope. He, like, All for One doesn't even tell her, like, use those words. It's like that is something in her that she hates and despises, and that she can just understand that that is why she is significant to, like, being able to do this mission, is because of her hatred of this specific idea of false hope.
Well, I wonder, you made the great comparison to Stain, which is what I was thinking, because I wonder if Stain ties into this fight, or Deku proves to her why Stain saved Deku, and changes her, like, thought, like, okay, great, false hope, false heroes, I don't like them. Deku's literally the epitome of not a false hero. Like, he's right. A real hero.
Like, we're being given this point or fact that, okay, she says she's taking Overhaul because she might be able to use him, but we saw back when she broke him out, I don't think she was initially thinking, ooh, I'm gonna help open this door for this guy and then basically carry him out of the jail so I can use him. There is still this amount of, like, compassion that is there within her that you're opening up a really great question of, if Deku were to prove that he isn't a false hope, would she back down from this mission?
I don't know how you do it in this fight without Chisaki involved, right? Like, I feel like
he's there. He's a piece. He's a player.
I feel like you'd have to, like, she could potentially use Chisaki as, like, if it came to it, like a distraction, right? Or, oh, I'm gonna kill this person, you'd have to jump in the way, and it would kind of mirror Eri getting shot and Lemillion jumping in the way, which was happening in the same overall arc, so that could be kind of cool to bring back, like the idea of jumping in front of a bullet. But I wonder if her realizing what relationship there actually was between Overhaul and Deku, and how Overhaul was the one who ended up killing Deku's, mentor at the time, Night Eye, and he still chooses to save Overhaul. That might be enough to get, like, what's her name? Lady Nagant?
Yeah.
Like, to sympathize or maybe realize that he's different.
It's really interesting because we're not only playing with previous villains being brought back, but we're also being given their ideals and their themes being brought back, and in some situations brought back within other characters. So to have this character and then obviously Chisaki back, and, like, you're really bringing up really great questions with kind of what is his significance in terms of this battle?
Yeah.
What will he be used for here? We already got her saying that she was keeping him to possibly use.
Yeah.
So what could she actually use him for in this battle when he is broken at the moment?
I was scared at the end there that we were going to learn that All for One gave Chisaki something too. Like, oh, I'm giving you this obscure quirk that I've never used before that switches hands and feet so you can use your quirk again, I don't know. But, like, I'm glad that at least All for One can't do that. He has great prognostication abilities. He knew exactly what Deku was going to do.
I mean, it's so funny to kind of get his dialogue with her at the jailbreak after we hear this whole conversation between Best Jeanist and Hawks and Endeavor about kind of trying to understand All for One's personality at the moment, that he always seems like he's laughing and smiling, and that I always get the feeling that he kind of just this confident feeling that everything's gonna work out the way that he has it played out in his mind, like he's orchestrating and controlling this whole scenario, and he's had enough time by himself to think that he thinks he knows how his brother would act, how he's fought all of the heroes that are within One for All. You know, he knows how all of them would act.
One really interesting piece of dialogue we got this episode that I love is the thought that All for One lacks a heart. And in the same way, a heart is what he needs for his goal. It's also the biggest gamble because a heart can sway two ways, right? Mm-hmm. And Deku is trying to access the heart in the complete opposite way that he is of Shigaraki.
Reaching his hand out to Shigaraki.
So interesting.
And we're also getting the lines of intense emotions and the power that those intense emotions can hold, and that why would All for One need hate and need Shigaraki's hate? He needs it in order to suppress the heroes that are within One for All once he has access to it.
Yeah. You know who? Okay. Hawks has got to be one of the smartest anime characters in existence, dude. He's always given us, like, information of what's about to happen or will come next, you know? All this information about Lady Nagant, run when you see her, you know?
If I was in this world and I had, like, a stuffed animal or figure of my favorite hero that was working, I would probably have, like,
Best
Hawks
Gina.
merch.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
I would have Hawks merch.
Yeah. Same. But I'm very...
You switched up on Mirko in this episode. You were like, ooh, Lady Nagant. And I was like, what about Mirko?
You can have Mirko.
I will take Mirko, thank you.
I'm very glad that Deku now has a quirk called Smokescreen when he's fighting somebody who's operates with eyesight primarily.
It's better for evading her. And it's purple. Ooh.
Oh, I didn't even think about the colors together.
You know how when he first appeared to save Shindo, I thought it was her because of the color? Mm-hmm. And then you were the one that kind of caught on to it earlier, that it was probably a new quirk. But I thought it was her because of the color. So that's interesting.
So the first thing I wrote down in my notes this episode was the quote, "My heroes," when the first user said it. And I was like, oh man, I can't wait for the discussion to overread into that line to think that he was saved by these two people.
But then we got the explanation.
Yeah.
I know, because at the time, once he said my heroes, my brain was like, is he talking about all of the people within One for All he thinks of as his heroes? Or is it these two specific guys?
So is it, like, confirmed now that he is related to Bakugo in some sense just by the eyes that he has when he opens the door down? I don't think we've ever seen a character drawn with the same Bakugo eyes, like, until now.
Oh, yeah, like these. I mean, the other guy kind of looks like he has the eyes.
A little bit.
But, I mean, you could go somewhere interesting in terms of, like, dynamic and relationship comparison.
Yeah. So interesting, though. I need to know what their quirks are so bad.
Well, they're blue and red in color. Not that that helps anything, because the color doesn't necessarily correspond to the quirk.
No, unfortunately.
So obviously, Smokescreen is purple. Now we know that.
I wonder if whatever the one with the gauntlet on his arm will be able to tie in to Deku's already like built equipment that he has for the air shots or whatever that he flicks and that he can like spit out air, you know, so he could use this one's quirk with gear that he has already had.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool.
I also want to think about the actual power that these quirks originally probably had. I mean, they were alive at the kind of beginning of Quirk Society, Hero Society, Villain Society, All for One's control. So we do know that quirks have almost like morphed into these stronger and stronger and more interesting abilities over time. So it makes me kind of question. Obviously, we know that they've been within One for All of this time, and that has made their quirks stronger. Mm-hmm. But it does make me wonder, like, what quirk could we imagine from point A to what point, like, Z that it's going to be at when Deku uses it?
Let's look at Bakugo, right? So, like, obviously, I've said it an annoying amount, but for the example, like, you can see how strong Bakugo's quirk is. Like, take that back 5 generations or whatever, right? What would be, like, the most simplified version of that?
Sparks. Like a little tiny light on your finger.
Or fire.
A personal lighter.
a couple episodes ago, I was saying that maybe like Bakugo has the ability to ignite the nitroglycerin himself. What if this guy can generate, like, he needs help igniting that, and like that's what
he needs support equipment.
Yeah. I don't know though. It's interesting. I definitely think we're gonna get more of this flashback, because in the flashback we got of them rescuing the first user, we don't see the scar on his face that we do see.
The scar probably comes from his
demise.
His battle with All For One. Which
I'm assuming is him passing it on to the person next to him, right? Because we saw the hand touch of those two, and then...
I agree with you that I hope I think we should get more flashback into their time because of their significance, of their emotional significance to this idea that they were the first people that didn't stop All For One, and now look how strong he's gotten, and now their quirks are the last ones that Deku is getting. There's something really significant about their emotional past and their emotional connection to All For One that I think could definitely be visited more.
I think we'd probably get better more flashbacks on them when we start using their quirks, right?
Yeah. And they start appearing next to Deku, talking to him.
We had the one shot of them like appearing up there with the other.
Yeah, and they were like, we are accelerating now.
I love it.
Do you think accelerating had anything specific? Like that word had any significance to his quirk? The red-haired guy.
Did he?
He said he's the one that said we are accelerating now. Was he accelerating the quirk process of like all of them connecting together? They were all appearing within their colors in a row next to him.
Yeah, but when in the episode do we get that?
I couldn't tell you.
Darn it, I want to look
at
that
But I wrote it down in quotes. We are accelerating now.
It is a specific...
And I was wondering if that word choice had anything to do with his power.
In order to defeat All For One, what we've connected.
Gather it here. The power of one for all. Release it all.
Listen, boy, we're accelerating now.
Accelerating the growth process, the connection, or is it anything to do with his quirk?
Well, the gauntlet makes me think no, right? But the choice of the word accelerating is super specific.
Yeah.
He already what could it be though? Because my mind instantly goes to like, oh, super speed. But Deku already has super speed, basically, right?
Yeah, he doesn't really need anything like that. What? And I keep thinking to myself, oh well, what would Deku need? Because I'm still thinking about it with the same idea of like Lady Nagant getting a quirk that really goes along with her own in like enhancing her prowess and ability on the battlefield. But I need to remember what En said about the tools. It doesn't necessarily need to be anything that helps enhance a quirk he already has.
Yeah.
It needs to be something different so that he can adapt to different villains he's facing.
We already have super strength and super speed. We have like a Spider-Man-like power moveset within that because we can float. We have Black Whip. We have
an evasion technique of
smokescreen.
A danger sense.
Spidey
we
sense.
We can dodge.
So let's think other like in the vein of superheroes, right? That would help Deku.
Offense.
Yeah, but like specifics.
I know, but I wanted to bring up that word because Best Jeanist asks Hawks and Endeavor if he thinks that if All For One is on the offensive.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we were listing what Deku has, he has a lot of things that are defense.
Yeah. But he's not trying to actively hurt people, though, you know?
Yeah, but does he... If we get remember the line from Gran Torino at the end of last episode of actually killing someone to save them?
You're right.
Does he need a move or a quirk that is much more powerful on the offense? Like these bullets that are being shot at him.
It could be cool if maybe like the guy with the gauntlet had a distance-based ability and he could learn from Lady Nagant like different uses of it. So once he gets that ability,
it could be like he throws out discs or something from his gauntlet.
It could be cool if this is the fight that he says something because he like recognizes a symbolism between Nagant and his own quirk, so he could offer up advice to Deku to how to beat her.
Help in order to beat her, understand how her quirk works.
Yeah. That could be pretty cool. The accelerating thing though, I don't know, man. I don't know what else he needs because they haven't told me yet. I don't know. I definitely love Best Jeanist and his every like other line he says has some like denim or fabric pun, and it makes awesome. My world.
I think the thing that I appreciated and liked most from Best Jeanist this episode was him catching all of the things that were being thrown at Endeavor.
Yeah. I like that All Might keeps bringing food to Deku.
He wrapped it all cute.
How tired? Like, he looks really tired in the intro, especially, like, the opening. Yeah. But he probably doesn't sleep all that much. If this, like, victim, just random citizen is getting harassed in the middle of the night and Deku's awake to be able to save her, you know? God, I can't believe that happened. It was like, well, she was walking around wearing those clothes at the time. I'm like, what is this blaming that's happening here? Like, I get that people are like
everyone's
obviously
on edge. But the first thing I wrote down for this episode was everyone is scared.
Yeah.
Like everyone is on edge. There's this intense, and they're ready to blame and ready to act. It's like they'll shoot now, ask questions later kind of energy. Like they'd rather protect themselves and make sure they're safe before, you know, verifying that what they're doing is correct.
I wonder how many umbrellas Deku has, like, on hand, just in case, you know?
They're in this, like, backpack behind him. He just whips them out for rainy days.
People who need them. Good episode. You have anything else?
I think that's it. I mean, other than just the question of plot-wise, do you think that we're gonna possibly go where Endeavor brought up, which is kind of us act now while we know that All For One is hiding somewhere trying to take over Shigaraki's body fully?
If like it'll be a tough ask.
But
like,
we have Lady Nagant. Possibly could we
bring
her over to our side?
Even if she can give us a little bit of information on where he would have gone next, that probably would have helped.
The first move. Every other, they said in this episode that every other villain that actually has connection to All For One or the League of Villains has still been in hiding. No movements have been made.
Yeah.
And she's the first movement.
So one thing that I caught in the opening, because I hadn't been paying attention really to the captions of the song, was that there was a line about like there not being a black or a white, like in terms of like morality. And it got me thinking about if and when we see why Lady Nagant killed an ally hero, what the reason behind it would be.
Right after we heard that line, All For One says evil hero society.
Yeah, I'm like, what corrupt hero was doing what they thought was right or should be done that Lady Nagant had to step in and kill them over? Like, what like gray moral like weird dilemma were they in that had her do so? Because my gut feeling isn't that she's the worst irredeemable character I've ever seen, you know?
I believe that they've definitely started her off, her first introduction to us, as a redeemable character. A character that we could possibly understand and could even join hands with the current working heroes.
Yeah. Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.